Let's still be working if I do that. Yeah, working. You still working? You're still working. Still working. Bitch. Oh, here we go. Hi there, my name's Howard, and I'm currently a consultant in training for the RDI program. And I'm hoping today to hopefully give you a sort of 15-20 minute presentation, maybe not quite on some of the specifics that you've covered over the last 2 days with Sam, but actually to give you more of an impression of what the program looks like for families and some of the processes that are involved. And hopefully just be able to signpost you to more information, like through the rdiconnect.com, which has some really fantastic resources from both video clips, families sharing lots of information, and webinars with professional consultants too. So a very brief bit about myself. I've been here with CEDA and had quite a few different roles over the last 8 to 9 years. Originally, I've got a real passion for sports and activities, so I'm developing programs for that to be made inclusive. And I would actually say, in the last sort of year, 2 years, having been introduced to RDI, it's had a real profound impact on my coaching and sort of transforming me from thinking about how I could teach a skill to actually guiding someone's learning to learn something new so that they take ownership of that. And it's been really fascinating to suddenly sort of start appreciating how we can be more inclusive and particularly with autism about how I might adapt my environment, adapt my guiding to help them be more part of it and have fun, really engaging activities. So a very brief look at what is RDI. I would say it's a family-based therapy program with a key focus on restoring relationships and connections between their child and the parent. Typically it covers those individuals on the autistic spectrum, but it can also be used to support other social relational development needs such as ADHD and different attachment disorders. A key feature of RDI is the way in which it offers support and tools for the parents, so it can help them understand what adjustments they may need to make in order to allow their child to continue their social relational development. It recognizes that families are unique, so that the parent is the most expert person in their child's development. So unlike some therapies that may solely work with the child, RDI looks to help parents take the lead. We would like them to become the guide. Like any therapy, it might not suit everybody, but there's certainly many examples in which it's had a huge positive impact for the families that were involved. And I think its success can be really sort of seen by the way it's developing in countries throughout the whole world. Certainly, it crosses over into different cultures. Countries like the States, Australia, and even Malaysia, it's at the forefront of their current thinking around RDI, and it's slowly introducing here into the UK. The National Autistic Society, I've noticed, are starting to definitely sort of promote more information around the topic, and it's great to obviously see you guys here today. In terms of going worldwide, can anyone recognise the language on the book here? Yep, that's right. It's it's Polish for any of you that could tell that one. So the format for what we're going to go into now is I've got a series of short video clips that help show what's involved in the program for the different individuals, the consultant's role, the parents and the child's role. We'll look at the consultation process, so that interaction between parent and their consultant, and we'll look at an overall idea of the ongoing evaluation. So what's involved in the feedback to help it become meaningful and learning that understanding. Here we've got the RDA, which is the Relationship Development Assessment. It's an assessment that's it's about an hour in length, taking place currently here with us at CEDA. And we're looking at some activities, a range of activities that take place between the parent and the child. What we're doing is it's allowing the consultant to make a number of observations to give them an impression of what the parent-child relationship development, what their relationship looks like. So those observations could be gaining an understanding of how much mutual trust is going on between the parent and child, what's happening between each of them to keep engaged, and what's actually really useful is to see if there is a disengagement, what is the guide, what is the parent doing to help re-establish it, and how effective are they and can they be at doing this. Because in RDI we've got an overall goal for parents to become effective guides, and in turn we want to be able to put supports in so that the child can become a good apprentice. They have a key role to play as well. So here's our video clip, and it's a drumming activity, and it's something that kind of helps us look at collaboration. Okay, so now we've got a clip of displaying child guiding taking place. So it's an opportunity for the consultant to identify support that can be put in place to help the child more effectively engage with their guide. So I might have a frame in mind before taking part in the activity based on those observations made during the RDA. So the frame could be around how it could be set up to allow the child to be more attentive to the activity. In this case, I think I was looking at adaptations and personalised support that could help us coordinate our actions. So what would help the activity be more collaborative, do it together. Click play. So as you can tell from that activity, there was a lot of scaffolding taking place. I was having to be very mindful around how much verbal communication to use. I had to allow a lot of time for the child to regulate and come back to me. Attention was a real challenge here, and I was soon to discover a major obstacle in the room actually was the camera itself. It was an iPad, and it was displaying what we were doing so that the child could see themselves on camera, and it turns out he's a bit of a show-off. Right? And again, it's just that little reminder that although the consultant has some sort of obviously good experience with the guiding, we don't always get it right first time. So again, it's really valuable for me to have this video so I could reflect back and make adjustments for next time, and then be able to feed this information to the family. Consultation. So this is between we're looking here particularly between the consultant and the parents. And primarily it's an opportunity for obviously consultants to provide information, but making sure that we recognise what are the learning needs and what are the learning needs of the family, and the ways, and identifying the personal it's helping parents identify their own personal learning styles so that the consultants can tailor to these needs. So it might be that we present information in a whole variety of different ways, using videos, using online platform support that's got lots of different stories in there, glossary terms. We've got an opportunity here to role play different activities together so that parents can become comfortable with it first and have an understanding of what to do. This stage, it's really important with consultation that we try to help and hope that parents will attend for an hour session face to face once a week is kind of the optimum ideal scenario. We understand that this might not always be sort of logistically possible, so every 2 weeks is still kind of an okay time frame that we've put things into practice and had time to learn and provide that feedback without it kind of being forgotten in that space of time. There's also obviously options to help make sure we keep in touch through what we call the online platform, and you can always use technology like Skype. Now, the families that we see ongoing and motivated and make the kind of the quickest progress with consultation are those that that they can attend those regular sessions, and I can imagine there will be a few of us like learning anything new or doing things that we haven't done for a while, and we have good intentions to do so. I'm sure we'll all be back to the gym next January. I guess the ones that can get through that first month and keep motivated, hopefully it will be a fun, engaging process to help us do that, are the ones that are going to really see the difference over a period of time. I'd like to say a little bit about what the activities might look like in the home here, and how we can help parents sort of become effectively Christmas tree decoration try and kill me. We're looking for parents to become a mindful guide. So here we have I've got an activity here called laundry. It's going to be in our following movie clip, and it's one in which we wanted the activity to be fun, engaging, have an element of challenge so that the child can hopefully meet that challenge and make small steps towards a bigger goal. Most importantly, we want to make sure we have created an environment and a trust between the parent and child so that they can feel safe. We tend to only take on more challenge when we can have that safe environment. So we want to frame in a way that we're not going to set up anyone to fail. Here we have the consultant giving the activity a go first. We've also got opportunities for parents to practice amongst themselves with the consultant in meetings, and also there's a great opportunity for other siblings to get involved. So those siblings that may be more neurotypical in their development, it's a great chance for them to feel part of the process and get these interactions going as well, and engagements with their parents. So with the activities, we're trying to create a series of lab-like experiences. They've got to have a purpose and a frame in mind for each activity. So, for example, we've mentioned framing for attention, parent being mindful on how they might want to set up their environment, for example. How are they going to adjust their pace to allow more attention? I think now, let's watch this video, and you'll notice that I've initially introduced it with the child and got an interaction going, and I had a frame and a purpose in mind. I was then able to communicate this with the parents, and then you'll see Dad next doing pretty much the same thing, and then also Mum having a go, following a discussion around how could we make this a really fun, engaging scenario. so it didn't become too task-like. There was that novelty to keep us all engaged. And so yeah, have a look out for how we did that. So throughout the whole process, we've got an ongoing evaluation. So following an activity, we want to make sure we have discussion and feedback with parents about what were the challenges and successes that they had in that scenario. We can do this process both face-to-face in sessions. We've got the online platform as mentioned, and again, it's an opportunity to raise any issues and uncertainties, and how can we start making further adjustments to the guiding. And this is where videos are so important, and they give us a real opportunity, just sort of 2-3 minute segments of video to share with each other, so that we can start making the observations. And certainly over a period of time, you'll see some real significant adaptations taking place, and the knock-on effect that that has for the child, and some of the improvements that they start making too. So sorry, I'm just gonna make sure I don't say this one. We'll make sure that we'll continue a set assignment and an activity for a period of time until we all feel, parents and consultant, feel like we've mastered that assignment. To help us reflect if we've mastered, it might be that we come up with a phrase or a picture, a nice takeaway that we can describe, so that it logs in the memory of having a really nice definition for yourself of what that means. So I'm sure after this 2-day workshop of training, you'll have certain things that would resonate with you, that would be really effective to go away now and jot a couple of ideas of what were the meaningful stories to you from this workshop. When it comes to helping families set time in their week, so make sure, sorry, I'll just start again. Scheduling is really important for any family, so that we want parents to identify times that they're going to make planning time for engagements, when they're actually going to engage in those activities, and setting time for evaluation. So we'll come up with a typical kind of timetable plan, and this will adjust over time as well. We have 4 main goals to RDI, and this is what it looks like on a family notebook. Number 1 kind of key goal is the area of restore, recover. We're kind of evaluating here as a group whether families are ready to move on, or are they still in kind of crisis mode? Is there more that needs to be done around maybe positive behaviour support work? What could help them evaluate how much stress they're under? The parents need time to have literally some time to themselves. Can they structure that into their week as well? And I would suggest that whilst we have goals 1, 2, 3, 4, a family won't necessarily move through those goals in the same linear fashion. It's remembering that each family, again, it's unique, and we're always identifying their needs. So it might be that we move on quite quickly. It might mean that we always take a look back and to look at a step back if needs be, and it's being really open and honest with each other of what that looks like. With this like online platform that we've mentioned, you get a notebook, and this is also an opportunity to share. You can share with whoever you want. A family might open it up to other professionals that they come in contact, like a class teacher, an OT. It could be other close family members, and it gives you an opportunity to share progress and get people maybe guiding in a similar way. There's also an opportunity here within the notebook and the platform where a child, typically probably more in their teenage years, who's got the kind of academic skills and communication skills, that they can be part of it too. They can share information, tell you what their progress feels like to them, what their needs, wants may be. So there are cases in which a consultant may actually move to work more directly with that teenager. So just a little summary of what we've been going over here. Whilst there is contact time between consultant and child, our majority of focus is providing knowledge and guidance to the parents so they can in turn transfer this to their child. And what's great about this is effectively the consultant is working themselves out of the job. Yeah, so the parent has those skills to transfer and guide their child. We very briefly mentioned there may be certain circumstances where a consultant may work directly with the individual, and I said this will typically tend to be for those older in their teens that have the skills relevant to this. We find that families who make the most effective changes in the long term are those who commit to those regular sessions and really take time to evaluate their progress. It's one of those that the more you put in, the more you get out. And we hope that the program becomes part of everyday life. So whilst we're making those lab-like experiences and activities, you might be able to transfer them into different scenarios. And it could literally just be a walk together down to the park. It could be sharing a story whilst you're driving in the car. So whilst it might not suit every family, there's many positive, life-changing stories. And here's just a couple of snippets of information on the screen here. And I certainly would recommend you visiting the website and looking at some stories for those that are involved. They'll give you a really good understanding of what commitment they've had to make to the program, but equally the rewards that come from that. And last up, as mentioned, I'm a consultant in training, but literally, fingers crossed, if I get my homework done in time, I'm a few weeks away now from becoming a qualified consultant, so hopefully able to offer more opportunities later in 2017. Thank you very much.